Welcome back to Project 94 for another Diecast review here on the channel, and today it's going to be an exciting video. It is going to be the Denny Hamlin Coca-Cola 600 win from 2022 for Joe Gibbs Racing. This is a highly detailed race version, and of course I was at this Coca-Cola 600 race, which of course is why I decided to pick up this diecast. A little bit of sentimental value. Because I was actually at this race for 6 hours. It was a pretty long race. A lot of hours of being in the stands watching this race and seeing all the chaos that went on in that Charlotte race. And of course, I must be Denny Hamlin. It's like every time we go to a race, we're like Denny Hamlin's lucky charm. We show up to see Denny Hamlin win at Bristol, and then now maybe another race. I can't even remember because the guy wins so many races and never wins a championship. But we ended up going to this race to come back to the Coca-Cola 600 for me, and to see it in person winning is kind of very interesting to see that Denny Hamlin waited it out. Like, he just doesn't give up. He's like a gnat, man. Like, he just keeps on going for it, doesn't give up. And of course, he waited until the end. I mean, this guy, Denny Hamlin, had a fantastically planned out race. I mean, this Denny Hamlin, this whole Joe Gibbs Racing number 11 team played it right all night long. And of course, they were the victorious crew that won the race. So, of course, Kyle Busch finished second in this race with his final Coca-Cola 600 with Joe Gibbs Racing. Would have been cool to see him win that one because he was in the right place to get it done. But, of course, that did not happen. Denny Hamlin ended up winning, and this car has a lot of detail and a lot of confetti. So this diecast review, prepared for probably a longer video than usual. And, you know, if you enjoy it, I hope you guys enjoy it. You know, we don't really review that many race versions, just for, you know, I have my reasons why I don't buy a lot of these race versions. So, yeah, enjoy it, but don't get used to it. We got 2 race versions we're going to review. This is the first of 2 race versions we're going to be looking at. Of course, we're going to start with the Denny Hamlin Coca-Cola 600. So let's get this car out of the box, and we're going to take a look at all its details. It's not, I'm going to tell you guys, it's not going to really be on the paint scheme, because we have seen this FedEx car so many times. Alright, I don't really need to review this car, and I have reviewed this car before on Philip's channel, Action 46 Network. So this car has been looked at paint scheme wise before. So we're just going to focus on, when we review this car, we're primarily going to focus on the raced detail of this car more than anything. There might be a couple different sponsors that were not on the standard diecast, but the main priority is to review the raced up details of this car, because that's what you guys are going to want to see, is how this car looked after this race. So here on the front here, we're just going to start with, you know, general stuff, right? What you guys are used to with these diecast reviews. Here's the front of the car. You got number 11, Camry, and I don't even see a Joe Gibbs Racing logo under the headlight right there. So here it is, the opened up grille for the race version. And of course on the hood, you have FedEx ground. And of course you have Toyota LCPL Schmitz as the name right there. You have the window vent there so the driver can breathe. Got Sunoco covered up in scrapes. You have Goodyear, the Honor and Remember logos on the wheels. They still can't do like raced up looking letters and stuff like that, like scratched up letters and things of that nature. They still can't do that for some reason. But they do have the Goodyear and the Honor and Remember on there, at least. Very fuzzy though. The wheels are still, that's still kind of an issue. Then you have NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR Salutes. Denny Hamlin, the race version sticker, and maybe some other logo that's covered up that it's not really readable. So, you know, you do have FedEx still, and now all those B-pillar sponsors are covered up in confetti, so they're very hard to read. I can only read, like, what, Coca-Cola, JD Gibbs, Toyota. Really can't read a lot of those. You got FedEx, you have Interstate Batteries, Mac Tools, Sherwin-Williams, Doosan, TRD. You have Sports Clips Haircuts. Of course, you have the back of it. It's going to have Toyota Camry, FedEx.com-Sunday delivery. Got number 11, Toyota, with the red box. And of course, you have FedEx on the deck lid with Denny Hamlin's name on the roof, and FedEx again. And this is a FedEx ground variant of the very familiar purple and orange. Now, ground would have probably been either the red, green, or the, I don't know. I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan, so I don't remember exactly every single flavor, every branch of FedEx's colors being represented. So, I mean, they don't do the green, blue, orange, red anymore, which sucks, man, because we could have seen a different color for this car instead of just the normal orange. It could have even been different from Richmond had they still been... There's really no excuse for them to not have different colors for these cars. I mean, unless they really like their paint scheme the way it is. I don't know. That's just FedEx. But now on to the raced version details. And this we're gonna use our zoom in and enhance feature. Let's see how close we can get. And as you guys can tell, look at that detail. You got a lot of confetti caked up on the side skirts. Well, they are gonna be a little on the side skirts, but for the front, it's on the splitter right there, the stepped splitter. No printing underneath the splitter, interestingly enough, only the top of it with the Coke bottle confetti. If you actually do zoom in enough, you'll see that it is actually Coke bottles. Got a lot of tire and debris on the front of this car. Very clean, open grille right there. Good thing about the race versions is that they open up the grille and it's not all covered up. But you do have a lot of tire wrapped around the front here. You got a couple scrape marks on the quarters, the front corners of it. This side's a little bit more cleaner than the other. This side got rocked. I mean, look at that. You got a lot of scrapes and scratches on that side. Onto the hood. Wow, that is a beautiful... If you like race versions, that is a beautiful shot. And if you look closer, if you look past the confetti and the tire all over this car... You're going to see two more hood pins here and here. There's two more hood pins. That must be to keep the hood closed or the cowl flaps closed because sometimes those keep popping up. So they got to put a little pins on those. So that is why the hood, that is why you're going to see those two things there. The hood vents are actually opened up, but they're covered in confetti now, and they're actually over the sponsor like they're supposed to because it's an accurate representation of what was on track. A lot of tire and a lot of confetti. The headlights are a bit covered up, but that hood is beautiful. Hang that on a wall at a restaurant themed with NASCAR. That looks great. Looks awesome, and even the window actually has some more detail. Like that little middle piece, maybe it is on other diecast, but I just don't remember right now. Race versions are usually a little bit different. Now we're going to look at this side first, the right side. A lot of scratches. And this is probably the money shot. Look at all the confetti and scratches on the right side of this car. So you have the front quarter on the right. The right front's going to be scratched up. A little bit of yellow wear, too. There you see like a little bit on the 11. Scratches there. Some scratches around the wheel wells. Got confetti all across the side. Just all across. Just you even have like tire detail from the tires and debris. The marbles are just all over, all on this thing. Of course, you're going to see this side actually, you can tell that the confetti goes all the way down on the side skirts. The other side doesn't, a little bit on there, not as much as on this side. Of course, you have that little pit indicator on the side skirts so they know where to lift him up on pit road. Of course, you got a bit more detailed than usual side skirts. Of course, the exhaust is a little bit more angled than standardized diecast. Just a little bit more detailed. Got some exhaust dust right there. Brake dust even. Exhaust dust. You can tell like the vents are a lot more. The side skirts are detailed a lot better on the race versions. And of course, just more confetti across all corners of this right side right here. And of course, you're going to have some more scratches, and these wheel wells get screwed up in these races. They get scuffed so bad because, of course, you can see there's a flare into the body, as you can tell. That is what's going to take the hits, like this corner right here. It's very flat in real life. You can tell that is why those parts are majority scratched up on the race versions, because you can see the body is flared in, so it'll scratch around the edges of the car, which is clearly what happened here. And there's even some rubber from probably from the burnout as well. I mean, this thing is used up. Of course, you got a paint chip that's not supposed to be there, so that's just great. I don't know how that happens in the package, but all right. Got some more tire and confetti. You can barely see the taillight. I mean, you could make it out, but it's quite covered up. Okay, so you have some more confetti back here. Now, it's not really as intense as the rest of the car back here, but you can tell there's confetti on this. Of course, the TRD's got a Coke bottle over it, which on this side, TRD is fully cleaned up here. Are there oil stains on this car? I gotta check, like, usually they have some oil dripping from the biofuel hole. Looks to be a little bit, not a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some drip stains on here that I'm not noticing, but that usually happens. Of course, you have FedEx.com right there. Sunday delivery is all covered up in the confetti as well. I mean, more under it. I mean, you could still read it, but around that text right there, you're going to have some confetti. Some more confetti on the taillights. But like this upper half of this back bumper is much cleaner than this middle section right here, covered up with confetti. And of course, you got some dings and marks on the bumper down there. Got some confetti caked up on the X part of FedEx and a bit of the D on FedEx, covered up with some confetti. Red and silver Coke bottles. And of course, on the roof, you're going to have the whole thing covered up, except this portion right here, which is where they usually have a cardboard cutout of a sponsor, a little trinket right there that sits on top of the car in Victory Lane. That's why that's a little bit cleared up with confetti. Got Hamlin. And of course, now we're going to look on this side. Look at that. That shot of this car looks gorgeous because look at it. You got a lot of tire and the confetti. I mean, just look at how that looks. So cool. Of course, gray wheels on here. No damage to the rims and wheels and tires or anything like that because they can't do that on 164s. Honestly, I would consider getting... I'm not even a Denny Hamlin fan, and I would probably recommend myself getting the 124 of this race version because there is a lot of detail. It looks fantastic. And I'm not even a Denny Hamlin fan, even though I do like 2311. And because my driver's out for 6 weeks, I'm pulling for their cars. But you got some scratches. That is a bad scratch right there. And that's actually from the race. Like, see, that's like a kitten scratch right there. Wow. And of course, you got some more scuffs around the wheel wells right there. Of course, there is some oil drippage here. Honestly, if you look a bit closer, got some nicks and knacks from pit road. Probably the pit guy from stuffing that in there. Then you have the confetti kind of caked up around the fake canards of the Camry TRD. And then a little underneath it, you're going to have some confetti. Not nearly as much dripped over here than on the other side. Now, you do have a bit of a white line. I don't know if that's decal wrapping. It probably is a decal wrapping issue. But that, nevertheless, that's on this car. Got some little scuffs under there. It's probably some quality issue. But look at those lines right there. Those are the pit indicators so they know where to lift him up. They did it on the other side as well, as we saw. Getting a closer look, you're going to see some confetti. I'd say this side is the least confetti filled compared to the other side. When you look at the other side, that is full, packed with detail. Like, you can, like, look at that. That is packed with race version detail. When you look at that, that looks fantastic on this car. Wow. This side also looks good, but there is not nearly as much confetti. I mean, the 11's a little bit covered up. Then the sides of the windows, of course, are going to be full of confetti as well. If I can get my camera to focus on this. Even the camera's struggling with this because there is so much on this car. Scratches, confetti. If you like raced versions and you don't care about the driver, this is the best one you can get. I'm convinced. I mean, if you look at that as well. Look at the wheel well scuffs a little bit closer here. It even goes underneath the side right there. Maybe they tried to get it on the edge, but the decal kind of slipped under. This is still one of the most detailed race versions one could ask for. Now, for the Toyota category, almost said character, Toyota category, this is probably the best of the Toyota race versions because there is so much to be offered in terms of race version detail. I mean, this thing is full of it right now. It is just completely covered up. And even the audio device is shocked about how much detail. It just shut off in pure shock of the amount of detail that's on this car. I mean, look at that. The front is just all full of crap. I mean, this is a race version that to never forget. Really a fantastic car. So we're going to guys a 360 view of it. Here's the front of the car. Here's the hood. Here's the right side. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof, the left side, and the chassis, the underbody. Can you imagine if they actually took pictures of the underbody and did detailed? That would be crazy. So that is Denny Hamlin's Coca-Cola 600 race version. Of course, I went to this race, so that's why I got this diecast. And, you know, having it in the collection is quite cool. It's always cool to get race versions of races that you went to. I was not able to get the 2016 Truex, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm able to find that. And the Kyle Busch one wasn't made in 164, I don't think. So, yeah, I haven't had a lot of opportunities to get these race versions of this Coca-Cola 600 event that I've been going to for a while. Did not get Hamlin's Bristol win in the 164 because it was not made. So, yeah, really cool to have this. Very lucky to have this. I bet this one will be hard to get down the road just because of how chaotic that night was and how memorable the race was. Some of the best racing at Charlotte ever. And then, of course, a race version that looks like this. And, of course, Denny Hamlin's first Coca-Cola 600. So, a lot of special things about this diecast here. So, what do you guys think of it? Are you guys going to pick it up in the 124 and the 164? Are you going to get this diecast? Please let me know in the comments. Thank you all for watching this diecast review. And comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review here on the channel. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecast.